Look at all that good stuff, Robin.
Hello.
What good stuff? This stuff? That's good stuff.
Welcome, everyone. Live
Hello.
from Spokane, smoky Spokane.
Very smoky Spokane.
It's Ken's Creations.
Hello.
So, welcome. I'm going to give a minute for everyone to join. Today we are making this fun, easy, do-it-yourself Halloween card. And we're using, what are we using, Sean?
Pan Pastels.
Pan Pastels. I'm going to show you why I love Pan Pastels.
Oh, they're so much fun.
And we'll show you all the techniques and stuff. I also wanted to let everyone know why people are joining. The bright pads at Cricut are back in stock. So a ton of people have been asking me to let them know when these are back in stock. These are back in stock. I gave you the link down below. So get them while you can. These run out very quick, but I'm very excited because I love my bright pad. Couple things before we get going. I wanted to let everyone know, welcome. I'm so excited you are all here. I anticipate we'll probably have less people today because of what's happening in Florida and all the states down there. So for any of our friends in Florida, any of our friends that are getting ready for that hurricane, we are thinking of you, and we hope everyone is safe and sound during that time. So be very safe. Anything down below, if you guys have any questions on where to buy stuff or how to support us down below, we've given you all the links for everything we're going to be using to make this card. Plus, we gave you the links for shopping for like at Amazon and different stuff. And if you use those links, it gives us a little something something.
A little something something.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So we are definitely going to be sending prayers to Florida and everything, so we've said that, and we are going to be sending as many prayers across the board to everyone down there. Thank you, everyone, for birthday wishes. It was a great birthday, and I'm very fortunate for all of you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of everyone in Florida, and for those in Florida that are watching, thank you. That's amazing. So let's get started on the card. I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen what a pan pastel is or how to use them. We're going to show you that first really quick. Let me move this out of the way. So pan pastels are awesome. I just got you exposed to them when in Fun Stamper's Journey, but they're around other places. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them different places. They essentially look like this, and they are a fine chalk powder that you're able to use on cards.
I saw them even at our local art shop.
Yeah,
they were there.
And they're awesome. I'll show you a couple of techniques here, but we have them in a wide variety of colors. They mix well, they play well. Let me show you a few techniques and we'll get started on the card here. But essentially, let me put that right there. Let me grab a piece of paper. I'm using 3 colors, but let's grab this nice teal color. They're kind of a powdery, so here you'll see, if I put it just a little bit, it's just a powder. But when you use it on, let's say, paper, you can add color to your projects. You can do a little bit of color, or you can add a lot of color. The nice thing about Pan Pastels is you can also stamp something. So for example, you can use embossing ink and then put Pan Pastels over it, and it basically will not cover in that spot. So for example, if I was to just, let's say, just take this right here. So there's a little bit of ink there. And now, anywhere there's ink, see how it's darker?
Oh, neat.
So if you were to stamp with something, anywhere that ink is, it's going to attract the chalk, and now you have it showing up a little bit more. Nice. Another cool thing is Pan Pastels are erasable. So if you ever, well, this is probably not the best. Let me grab a different eraser.
I don't know if any of those are good.
Yeah. So essentially, this eraser is turning orange because it's not high quality. But you can see there, as we kind of continue there, you can erase part of the Pan Pastels. So yeah, it is kind of like eyeshadow for your paper. So I wanted to quickly go over what it was so you guys knew exactly what I was using to make this card. I love Pan Pastels. I don't use them as often as I should, but they are a very fun technique, and it is the basis for this card. What's great about Pan Pastels is they blend extremely easy. And we're going to show you that right now. Sean is going to be monitoring questions. And
somebody was just saying, is it chalk or chalk ink?
It's like a chalk residue. So, was that the question?
They just said, is it a chalk or a chalk ink?
Yeah, they are. If I remember right, they're a chalk. If I remember right, chalk, but they're not an ink. They're not. I couldn't ink with this.
Can you make Pan Pastels?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's possible, but I don't know.
So
Angela said not an ink.
Yeah, it's not an ink. I couldn't stamp with these. We are going to take a piece of white whipped cream cardstock, and this is Fun Stampers Journey cardstock. It's a very thick cardstock, about 85 pound.
And Lisa was just asking, are you using a makeup sponges?
These actually came with my Pan Pastels. You could use those. You just want to make sure you use a nice dense sponge. What's great about Pan Pastels is they clean very easy just using paper towel. So I can just go on here, take the remainder off just like so, and now I can pick up another color without cross-contamination. You can also wash these, so you could wash them in your sink using some gentle soap and let them dry. But you could use makeup brushes, anything that's a nice dense sponge is what I would say.
So somebody asked, which was kind of interesting, can you use this with your chalk couture?
You could not, because it's chalk, but it's not a paint type of chalk. Right. So this wouldn't be able to be used like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to start.
How do you make it permanent on your cardstock since it is a chalk?
Okay,
sorry.
So then I gotta get. So basically, there's a couple different ways. It's just like you would do with distress crayons. You could also use it with different other ways to make it, but there is different. I want to say Tim Holtz he has a certain spray, so someone could probably use it. You could use hairspray, anything like that. I do see a question about rubbing off easily, so you wouldn't be able to rub it out without eraser, but I would definitely do some sort of way to make it last, so some sort of spray. So I will be zooming in so you guys can see as I use this. Sean's going to write down questions so I can answer them at the end for you, and we'll make sure we answer all your questions on Pan Pastels. We're going to start with the purple here, and right here is, we're going to take this off. Now I like to pick up a little bit more, and so all I'm doing is, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit for you guys. Or not. There we go. Sean's going to have to make sure I stay in the center here. But, so I'm just picking up some on the sponge here. Now my sponges, as you can see, it have been pretty well used. You also want to make sure your area is clean, so I'm just going to make sure I get up that blue because I don't want any cross-contamination. These will contaminate very easily with other colors until you have it set. So, and I think that's pretty dry.
The card is an A2 size.
A2 size card. So I usually do A2 size card. So I'm going to start up at the top here. Now I'm using the Ken Oliver craft mat. One of the reasons I love this craft mat is it does not, so my card is not moving here while I'm using this. And that's really important just because that way I can get a nice deep color. Now I'm using, of course, as you can see, a lot of my color because I want it to make a pretty bold statement. And because these blend so easily, we can now pick up our green, which is right here. Look at that. And we're going to use a different dauber for right now. I'll show you how to clean them. It goes on really smooth. It is a very, very fine powder. So I'm going to pick that up right here. And then I'll show you how easily these blend. So I'm going to go right up to that purple once I get kind of, we'll probably put a little bit more, right up to this purple, just like so. And then I can continue my green up and through my purple, and it blends nice and easy. I can also pick up more purple if I want to make it darker, but they blend easy. And that's what I really like about these, is we don't have to worry too much about blending. I know some people, including myself, can sometimes hard to blend green to purple. I have a little bit of purple on there. So I'm going to rub that off right here just using any paper towel. And as you can see, that purple now is off where it was right here, which is really, really nice. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more green. I want a little bit of a darker green here. And Sean is monitoring questions as I do this because I'm not seeing all the questions. And we will absolutely answer those for you. And let's go ahead and pick up some orange now. Here's that bright orange. Look at that orange. I did see a question on the corner of my eye about a big mess. I'm going to show you how to quickly, easily clean that up.
Love that orange.
This orange is so bright. That's one thing I love about these Pan Pastels is they're easy to blend. You can add color. You can stamp with them by using that clear pigment ink and get that reactive look to them, which I'll have to share more in my projects. So let's add a little more orange. Sean, while I'm adding orange, any questions that popped up?
Somebody was asking not too long ago on where's the best place to buy these?
So the ones I am using is Fun Stamper's Journey colors. They're not all exclusive colors, but the majority of them are the Fun Stamper's Journey. You can also buy them on Amazon. These are in most art stores. I even believe Michael's has them online, and so does Hobby Lobby. Probably the best prices I've seen if you don't care about the exclusive colors would probably be on Amazon. However, you can also, if you want the exclusive Fun Stamper's Journey colors, those would be through my site, which are down below.
How much dust does this make?
No dust. There's no dust in the air. Is that the question?
It didn't say specifically, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's no dust in the air per se. And I'm going to show you how to clean up here on the mat. I'm going to move this out of the way just by picking it up off my mat. And you guys can see that this isn't dust. So if I was to, you can see it kind of changing right there, and it's on my finger. I use Fun Stamper's Journey True Fusion Cleaner. This stuff is amazing. So if I was to, let me just show you the power of this stuff. If I was to use a baby wipe, it's going to do a pretty good job, but it's going to leave just a little bit of a residue behind on this mat. So this is just using a baby wipe, but look at this spray. This is why I love
shows you how concentrated
this is why I love this. Look at that.
Wow.
I love this stuff. So it does a great job picking up all of the color and everything. Now, some people might say, I heard someone say like, oh, these look messy. I wouldn't say they're any more messier than any other stuff I've used. I've used the Distress inks. I've used the Oxide inks. They're about the same. They do not produce chalk up in the air, so you don't have to worry about inhaling it or anything like that.
Can you show, when you're done, can you show and hold the name of that again? It is in the description below, but we'll show you what it looks like when you see it. So hold on. True Color Fusion Cleaner.
Yeah, this is my favorite cleaner, just because it does. Now, I will say there are some people that have told me that women who use this, it does get rid of your nail polish on your fingernails if you're not careful. But I've used it on multiple occasions to even clean up stuff stained in anything, not just craft related. So it's pretty good stuff. All right, so we have our base here. We could either go, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more here now since we did that. There we go. So we have our base here, and we can now do the next thing, which is the white splatters. Now, white splatters are right up here. I personally like to use they're called Derwent Graphic Line Painters, which is right here. And they're basically paint in a pen. You can also get Delusions paint pen, and they'll both do the same things. You can have two ways of putting this on. The first way, of course, is by getting the ink in the tip and then just kind of hitting it on your finger, and it's going to spray a little bit of those white things. The other thing that you can do too is just take directly, if you want more of a controlled look, we can just directly do this. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me if Fun Stamper's Journey has white color silks, because you could do the same thing. They don't have any white color silks at this time. We have a clear color silk, but there's no white. And sometimes I want more of a white look, especially with this Halloween or Christmas. But just like that, we're going to add some stuff like that. It does kind of look like stars. So our base is pretty much done, but now we need to add, we're going to do this piece here, which is the big focal point, the October 31st. Originally, I was going to set this on a moon, but I decided I like the look of just a straight black. So let's go ahead and get that going. And what we're going to do to get, it's hard to see here, but right here, you're going to notice I have kind of a pierced look. So what we're going to do to accomplish that is Fun Stamper's Journey has these circle dies that will produce that look. Now, there are other people out there that have stitch dies. I personally, for this one, I wanted more of a pierced die, not the stitch die look. So I'm just going to run this through. This is our Amaze machine. Some people have also seen it through, I want to say Spellbinders has it. This is just the brand. It's branded Fun Stamper's Journey. What I like about this one is it's nice and heavy, so you don't have to worry about the machine moving.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Which, of course, with doing it on this mat helps too, because it's not going to slide.
Yeah, it's not going to slide. And when we take this off, we're going to see all of those little piercings. Now, there might be a few that didn't pop out all the way, which is okay. We can just take any kind of pointer tool. Cricut has one, depends on which ones, and we can just kind of point these out. Of course, you don't always have to do that. You can leave it with more of a distressed look. I need to grab my tools, which were in right here. Sean, where did you move the tools? By chance, they were sitting right there in front of the lid.
I think they are right here.
Oh, good thing.
Somebody was asking, are you going to use the Fix-It, to make it permanent before you place everything on it?
I am not.
Okay.
And the reason why is overnight it will dry. So I'm not planning on giving this card right away. And I do not have any permanent solutions at the moment.
Will your roller brush thing work on this?
My roller brush.
That brush in your other jar, the one that's got the black, that thing right there. That roller brush.
Oh, this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Good point, Sean.
Yeah, somebody asked about
so
that.
Smart. Well, so I didn't do a good job making sure that these all got out, but that's okay. All right, so now that we have that, we have all the remnants here too. We're going to stamp on this. Now, I'm going to
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you, Mona. Why are we thanking Mona?
She gave us $10 on a super chat.
What's a super chat, Sean?
A super chat is an ability for someone to be able to say thank you as a small donation to your favorite crafter to show your support. It can be done on all of the Android machines like a phone and whatnot, but you cannot do it on an Apple phone or iPad, but it can be done on an Apple, like a Mac.
Spray. Look at that.
I know, like on a
I
Mac
just love it.
or other desktop, just not on the mobile phones or iPads.
Yeah. So on this here, there's two ways we could get this look. You could use a white pigment ink. So for example, Fun Stamper's Journey has a whipped cream ink, which is all the way over, Sean, to the very, very far left. It actually says whipped cream on it. Okay. And you could use that on this. You're not going to get a concentrated look like this. The only way you can get a concentrated look like that is to do embossing. On whipped cream like this is going to put the that white on there, but to me it's almost a diluted look. Yeah, so I like to do embossing. Now in embossing, it's extremely important that you want to remove all of the static from this. So the way that I remove it, there's a couple of different ways. I've seen some people use dryer sheets. I've used, some other people use a powder that you can roll on. I just use, this is actually, I have the link down below, but it's the Inca Dew, and they call it the embossing powder prep. And all you do is you just...
Some people said they've used cornstarch as well.
You know, I've heard of people using cornstarch. I've never used cornstarch. I'm not saying you can't, but yeah, I say use whatever is available. But I will say it is important to do this because depending on what powder you use, I use Brutus Monroe's Alabaster. It's very fine, so it's going to stick to this. So you just want to make sure whatever you use, you're using something that is going to get, basically, you're essentially trying to get rid of the static electricity in there.
Somebody thinks it is cornstarch inside the bag.
It very well could be,
It could be, for all you know.
Yeah. I've always just called it magic powder, but it probably is something as simple as cornstarch. So we're going to place that directly on here. The nice thing about Fun Stampers Journey stamps and a lot of other red rubber mounting stamps is they do a printed on this side. So you can line it up, you can see. I am using, in this one, the Tim Holtz stamp platform, which I really like. And on this, there is a rubber side and there is a clear side. You want to make sure that, since we're using a red rubber mounted stamp, we want to use that. You want to make sure that's facing up. And now we can just go ahead and simply push down on our stamp and it will pick up that stamp for you, and we're ready to now stamp this. I am using, to grab the ink, I am going to use the Brutus Monroe Embossing Ink Clear. Now you can use this with other colors of inks, but I don't want to, because we're using white, we just want a good ink. The other thing you want to be careful on this one, which this one's not too bad, we want to get a good impression, but we don't want to push too hard on this. We just want enough to where we get a good impression. But because of this writing, there's little tiny writing there. If we push too much, we're going to lose out on that writing. So we just want to be careful. Our middle of our 3, though, here, we do need a little bit more. And you'll notice that if you got a good transfer, you'll see it kind of turn almost a wet color. My 3-in-1, I do need just a little more. So I'm not going to put a lot, once again, but I do want just a little more in there. There we go.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yes. So once we have a good impression on there, I'm going to give this to you, Sean. We can go ahead and do our, I'm using Sean's question sheet here, and I literally just pour it on my circle here. And I'm not worried about... Why are you laughing at me?
Mary says, I've never thought of wet being a color, like you said it. I think you meant to say a wet look.
A wet look, yes. So some people have told me they don't like hitting the back of their cardstock because sometimes it will get too much of the powder off, but I like to. And you want to look around for any area that it shouldn't be. So if you had some, we use that magic tool, or cornstarch, whatever. But an easy solution to this, if you found yourself having spots where there was, you could just grab a paintbrush. And I just use my fine tip paintbrush. So, for example, one of these guys down here. I got these paintbrushes at Ross. Look at all of those, $3.99. Did you know Ross has a craft section, Sean?
I did not.
Yeah. You can get some really good deals in there. So we had just a little piece there, and we just brush it away.
Ta-da.
Now keep your embossing powder. I'm not saying embossing powder is expensive, but there's a lot of extra embossing powder. We'll just pour that right back into the jar. Some people use coffee filters. On white, you just want to make sure that if there's any cross-contamination of any other colors, you don't want to pour it back in because obviously white
is white.
Yeah. All right. So we have this here. Now, right now, it's in this powder form.
Dull looking.
Dull looking. Looks very different from this. But that's all going to change. You want a good heat tool. Now, you can find heat tools. I use a Fun Stampers Journey one just because I like the color. But the biggest thing on a heat tool is you want consistent heat, and you want it to get, I don't want to say like super hot, but I let it warm up a few minutes here before I put it on mine, because I want it to be pretty hot, because you don't want to sit there and put this on your paper, especially if let's say you're doing something on white paper. You don't want to burn your paper. So that's pretty hot, and all I do is I hit my design with it, and you're going to see the embossing powder literally change. It's going to go from that dull powder look, and it's going to turn into a glossy whatever color. In this case, we're using white.
I mean, you can already tell just by looking at the October is shiny.
Yep, there you go. That's a perfect. So just like there. So we're going to hit the rest of it here.
You can almost see it change.
I love the look of embossing powder, embossed powder. So now we have a nice shiny.
Yeah.
So we have this now. So this card's pretty easy. We're almost done with all the points, but we do have this here. And this here actually is using, I think I have it available. We're going to be using the Fun Stampers Journey Rock Candy Organza ribbon. And we're going to be using the Happy Halloween. Now, you could once again use white ink to do this. However, I am using embossing powder for this too. So this Happy Halloween is embossing powder on ribbon. Keep in mind, when you do embossing powder on ribbon, two things are going to happen. Number one, you want to make sure you have the ribbon stretched nice and tight so you can get a nice transfer of your stamp. But the other thing, keep in mind your ribbon's going to shrink with the heat, which is not a big deal, but you just want to keep that in mind. So what I do to do this is I'm going to take just any kind of piece of cardstock. So this is just the black licorice cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and cut my ribbon. And we're going to turn this over. We're going to use some washi tape. And we're going to stretch the ribbon pretty tight and tape it on the back here. And the reason I'm doing it this way is this way I can put it in my stamp affixing tool with magnets so the ribbon doesn't move around. And I can apply heat to it without the ribbon losing too much, because you want a little bit of a give, because that ribbon is going to shrink just a little. But now that we have it on here, I can now grab my Tim Holtz stamp platform. I don't need to worry too much about using the static on this, because we can always take a brush over this and get rid of a lot of the embossing powder. We're going to take this one off. And this time we're going to put this happy little thing right here. And obviously the stamp you want to make sure works on the size of ribbon you have. So I'm just going to line it up here. And the great thing about the stamping tool is I can now position that. We're going to take, once again, our embossing ink. And you should see it a little bit on there. You might not see a great deal amount, but what now we can do is take our, off this. We might have to stand up because I can't really see very well how well the, so, just like that. We have a little bit of cleaning up to do, which is not a big deal. We can take a paintbrush right over here. We have a little bit, let me show you there, on the ribbon. So we're just going to be very careful because obviously it's ribbon and it'll fall right behind that ribbon. We have some, of course, on our cardstock, so we're just going to get that off. And we have a little bit on the side right here. But the nice thing on this ribbon is because it's see-through, a lot of that will just fall through the other side. Now the key on this is you don't want, when we use our heat tool on this, we want to make sure we don't heat up the ribbon too long because of course this ribbon's going to shrink. Which is okay because I'll show you how we...
Could melt.
Yeah. Well, it could melt to your paper, yes.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Some people
here.
were just talking about that it could melt and they thought it would melt. That's why they've never tried it.
Yeah, I'll show you. At first I thought, oh, it's not going to work. But as long as you only... It won't take long, but the key to it is making sure this is hot. So you don't want to hit this with your ribbon until this is nice and hot. And you're going to see it turn. It turns quick. So I'll show you here. So we have it right here. We're going to hit it. And do you see it shrink?
Yeah, it's shrinking.
Just like that. That's all you need. So you can see right there how much it shrank. But now we have it nice and set on the ribbon. So now that we have that set, we can add the rest of our ribbon. So that's why you don't really see the shrink of the ribbon because we're using other ribbon on here. And I didn't want to go straight on with my ribbon. So when I did my ribbon, I cut it in different lengths. So
thank you, Linda.
We're going to cut, let's cut like 4 of these. This would be really cute if you're doing a, they have this in white and clear. Like you could use this for a mummy look for Halloween card, Sean.
Yeah, you could.
You could. So we're going to start with the smaller one. I think I did 4. Let me look. Yep. We might do 1 more. And we'll put this one in the middle. Once again, I just tend to use washi tape to affix my ribbons and stuff like that. If I can find where this washi tape starts.
Somebody asked about...
Do you know what's great is I have fingernails now. I can do stuff.
This is called organza tape. Or
organza. Organza.
And then somebody was asking about a different type of ribbon. Would it work on that? Of course, I think that's the only ribbon you really have, right?
No, I have other ribbons. I've done it on other ribbons. The biggest thing on it is making sure of what your ribbon is made of. So you obviously want to test it out. So when I tested this, I knew it was going to shrink a little bit. So I knew essentially I had a limited amount of time to hit it with my heat gun. Because obviously if I'm doing it too long, it's going to shrivel, but it didn't melt. And that was the big key is it going to melt to the paper behind it? Eventually it's going to melt. Any ribbon when you're applying heat will, but you just need enough heat on there to basically get the embossing powder to quickly melt on there. And once it melts, it's going to attach to that ribbon. So what I'm doing on the ribbon is I'm making sure nothing is even. I'm kind of going at different angles here. So right here, you know, you can go any which way. You could add as much as you want. I essentially want to see the color behind it. But really this is just background to support and hide the fact that that ribbon did shrivel. Thanks, Sharon. Why are we thinking Sharon? Another super chat?
Another super chat.
Oh, thanks everyone.
And I think Linda did another one.
Linda, thank you. So once again, you can use a way better way of you know, fixing it. I just use washi tape because you're eventually going to affix this anyways to the back of the card. So I'm just using the washi tape. So we have this here. It's dried. And we're just going to take it off from our washi tape. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays to do cards for and to decorate for. The part that I always run into is I tend to run out of time. So by the time I'm thinking of Halloween, it's usually, I'm going to move this one up a little. I'm already thinking, you know, people, usually when Halloween comes, people are already working on their Christmas cards. I know some people are already working on their Christmas cards now. Isn't that crazy? Are you guys like that? Do you all work on your Christmas cards early? By the time I think of Halloween, usually my cards. So this is the first year that I've actually done Halloween cards in a good amount of time. So the reason we do an extra amount here, as you can see, is this way we can position it centered in the card. So that's very important.
Jamie's been working on her Christmas card since July.
What? That's insane.
Dana's is teaching Christmas cards.
Ooh, what are you using? Are you using a Cricut, a machine? Are you stamping?
Tiffany's going to start next week.
With Halloween or Christmas?
Christmas.
Oh my gosh, Sean, I feel like all of a sudden I'm behind now. Oops. So we're just going to do one last piece of washi tape. I have a little bit extra here that we cut. And just like that, we have that nice organza
Sweet
ribbon. So, uh-oh. I need to cut this little piece here, Sean. I can't believe you guys are all working on your Christmas cards already.
Wow, my hubby has 11 brothers and sisters.
That's like my dad. My dad, I don't remember how many he has, but it's a lot.
Oh, Dana says she does Stampin' Up! Card making classes at her local library.
Stampin' Up! Stampin' Up! was, I did they had a box, I think they called it the Paper Pumpkin, maybe? Oh, I'm not on camera, Sean. Why didn't you let me know that? I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought
Nope.
you needed to do that. Oh,
I apologize. I didn't know I was on camera. So now we have this. We have the white that's worked into here. And really, what we need to do now is raise up the October 31. Now you could cut a little bit of a thicker around this. So if you want to do this in yellow with the moon, that was my original idea. But I really wanted to feature the color of the Pan Pastels. I'm going to clean up my area because I have a lot of embossing powder here. I didn't used to make Halloween cards until I saw some of the stamps. And there's some cute stamps out. So for me, they're my favorite card to make. Don't get me wrong, I like Christmas. Christmas is very pretty, which by the way, did you guys see Gina K released a Christmas line?
Are you kidding?
She has Christmas dies, Christmas foil. She has Christmas foil mates. I'm so excited. I love me some Gina K stuff. Just saying. Her line is so awesome and her Christmas stuff is amazing. So we are going to now put this on the card. And I just tend to go to Michael's when they have their deals on cards. So they'll have these cards there. And this is why I do A2 cards. I get that question all the time is I love getting their pre-made cards. I hate, not that I hate wasting card stock on making my base cards like this. I just tend to use these cards.
We have not tried using the Easy Press and her foil yet.
We haven't, no. We've been this whole week filming our maker video. So that's what's been taking up ours. And let me tell you, oh my goodness, this maker, wait till you see what it can print and cut. It's amazing. All right, so we're going to raise this up using some foam squares. Now, I tend to go overboard. Oh, I have some embossing powder on the back there. I tend to go overboard with my foam squares. And the reason why I get this question also all the time, why do you put so much foam squares? If I'm going to send this in the mail, I do not want it to, I do not want this to fall in the mail. I think I accidentally added heat to these. Oh, thanks, Sean. Now, you can buy individual squares like this. Some people, let me show you the other thing you can do.
Sue lives 15 minutes away from her store.
What?
What?
You can also use foam. Look at that.
Foam tape.
What? So if you're doing definitely a card or something, it's easier to use that than these. But if you're doing a circle for me, it tends to be easier to do this. Thanks, Sean. So we're just going to add this all the way around. I love Gina K. We met her at, of course, the Creativation, and we instantly fell in love with her foil mates and her entire die collection. And when I saw her Christmas, because of course, foil adds a little something extra to Christmas. Foil is beautiful on Christmas cards, and her foil mates are gorgeous. I ordered them, so as soon as I get them, I will show them to you guys. I'm so excited for her foil mates.
Mary was just wondering, where did you get the roll of tape?
Amazon. Amazon. So this I put in the middle. You can put anywhere your little heart's desire. So if this was a chalky, I just wanted to show you guys, if this was a chalky residue and easily came off, your adhesive would not adhere to that because the chalk residue would adhere to the adhesive. So that just shows you that it's not putting a chalky residue per se on there. One other thing I wanted to show you guys, which is kind of cool,
yeah,
if you wanted to doll up your cards, let me see if I can easily find them.
Terrence says he likes using that roll tape too.
So they also this year, for the first time, released tiny little bows already pre-done to match the ribbon. So if you wanted to, I didn't want to. Sean, I actually had a ribbon on here and Sean was like, it looks girly. And he made me take it off.
It'd work great for something, but I don't think it should work for
Look at that!
this.
I know, but look at that.
But it is
Do you
cool,
know how there's no way I could tie a bow that tiny.
I don't know. They must have a machine that does that.
Well, of course they haven't. What do you think Richard Garay is sitting there tying all of these?
That's what he is doing.
So anyways, there is the card.
There it
Ta-da!
is. Ta-da!
So, I'm obsessed with Pan Pastels. I love the element. Just to show you, because I don't think I hit home really well what I was talking about here. Let me do this one last presentation for you.
People are saying the bow looks cute.
If you have, the bow does look cute, Sean.
Then put it on if
you made me get rid of my bow, and I'm so happy to use my bow, and you were like, it's girly, get rid of it.
I never said that, you guys know I don't do that.
And now I sit and cry in the middle of the night because I don't get a bow. All right, so I just wanted to show you really quick kind of the other thing that I was trying to demonstrate poorly is you can take a stamp, put some embossing ink, you can see it's on there, without using a stamp positioner. Let me make sure I can do this. So now if I take, let's say, let me grab my orange. Let's do orange. If I was to take this and now put it on here, oh, magic.
Magic.
Look at that.
Moment.
So you could do really cool backdrops. Oh, I didn't get a very good stamp. But you get the point.
But you get the point. So
you can do, and now, of course, it's because that was that embossing ink, it's grabbing the elements of the Pan Pastels, and now you have a really cool thing. This is really, really cool with background stamps. Let's show you. Why not? Why not, Sean? Should we show them? Should we show the people what it looks like? Uh-oh. I don't know what Sean did with all my stamps.
Which ones?
My Fun Stampers Journeys. They were in the gray bins.
Oh.
Found them. Found them.
When will the maker video get posted?
Well,
Friday or Saturday. We're not sure.
We are changing up our way we do our videos. Yeah. So Sean wants to do something a little not different. I don't want to say it's different. It's just
no. You're the one that wants to do it, and I'm all for it.
Sean, you have messed up my stamps.
Sorry.
I adore you to pieces, but you messed it up. All right, let's do this one. I love this pattern. Okay, so here's a background stamp, right? This I will use my positioner stamp for.
Is there a brand name for that roll of tape?
What roll of tape?
Foam tape?
I just call it foam tape. I don't know, to be honest.
Probably not. There's no name on it.
Yeah, there was no name on it. So, look at this. This is what I probably use the Pan Pastels for the most. Trying to position this to where my... Oh, well, this will be...
You're off camera.
Oh, I'm off camera?
Yeah,
Sean, you're supposed to remind me of these things.
I just did.
Okay, so... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, we're going to have to turn that way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to inka-dinka-dook-booka this up. But this time I'll try to get a better one for you guys. Look how well I cleaned this stamp last time. Wow. Sean, isn't it your job to clean stamps when I'm done?
No.
No?
I do, though.
You do. You do a very good job. So, wait, stuff's in the way here. So then we get a nice coverage here. Who knows if that's a nice coverage because it's on a white piece of paper. And what color should we do, Sean? Ooh, let's do teal. You want to do teal?
Let's do it.
All right. So then, look at this. This is, not even kidding, this is probably what I use my Pan Pastels the most for. Oh, how freaking cool is that? So you get basically two colors. You get the color of the blue that goes naturally on the cardstock, and because you used the that embossing ink, where the Pan Pastels touch is going to make it just a little darker. Isn't that cool? I love that. That's my favorite thing to use Pan Pastels for. Ta-da!
Ta-da! That's very cool.
It is very cool. So,
great idea.
It's a great way to fix. So I saw the question again. Is it necessary to use? It's not necessary. Pan Pastels will eventually dry. However, they will react with water. So no matter what, if I was to dry this and then spray it with water, it's going to come off, or you're going to get an effect on it. Just like if I was to use color silks on this, it's going to react with that. So I would recommend to people that yes, you should spray it to make sure that it stays, but I don't always do that.
That's right.
I'll be honest.
Somebody said if you did red, that would have been a picnic table.
It would have been. Actually, that's what that is.
Yeah, that is right, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, guys. So there is the tutorial on that. We weren't actually going to do this video today because we have the maker video, but I had the card ready to go, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But super easy card, lots of fun. If you use the links down below, it'll help support us. We will be back next week though, because we're going to be doing Monday, Tuesday though, instead of Monday, Wednesday, because I'm leaving Wednesday on a manager retreat.
That's right.
So Monday we'll probably be doing a Make It Now. Tuesday we'll be doing a huge haul of cool new stuff I want to share with you guys.
I have to sneeze. I'm sorry.
What?
I have to sneeze now.
Oh, you have to sneeze. Sorry.
I thought I was going to sneeze.
So before we leave, do you guys have any last questions or anything? Bless you, Sean.
Excuse me. Thank you.
No, thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, it was fun. It was, I know, not in our normal time frame. But the mystery box is not out yet. I don't know.
Thank you.
We haven't heard anything on it, but as soon as we hear of it, here's the only thing is if the mystery box comes out next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, Sean will be doing it by himself. It'll be his first mystery box by himself. I can't wait. So if it comes out, if it comes out. So either way, we will make sure. We got the bows at Fun Stamper's Journey. They come in. You want to see the bow styles? So here is the one, the black to match the black organza. I think I'm saying that right. Organza. But this is my favorite one. I'm using this in a project next week. This is the orange and white pumpkin patch ribbon.
Love it.
And look at these.
That's so cute.
Oh my gosh. So I'll be using those next week. So right now they have the rock candy, which is this kind of black color, and this.
I wouldn't go as far as a Cricut master. I've never even worked with the software yet.
Yeah, Sean, I will say. So we did our testing. Do you guys want a sneak peek? Oh, I have two questions for you. I have two questions. Okay.
Peek.
We have a question for you. Are you ready? If we cut over 25 different materials with the Cricut Maker, do you guys want to see the machine cutting every single materials or just our results? Because I'm just thinking, just give you guys the results. This is how it cut this. This is how it cut this. I taped the machine cutting it all, but that's a lot of, 25 times, that's a lot.
gets a little mundane.
See results. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think just
Okay, I'm
results.
gonna give you guys a sneak peek.
Here's a sneak peek at some things we cut. Nothing big, just stuff. Yeah, I think he did. I don't know how many he did in the beginning of the editing, but yeah, there's some, and then he said he tried to do them all, and he said it got a little. We can't do chipboard yet. The knife blade is not out because that's what you would use to cut that. Anything thick and hard will be wait until the knife blade comes out, and we hear that won't be until December now. I don't even know if that's true or not, but that's what we heard.
In here. Okay. These are the two materials that surprised me the most. This is super fine lace. Do you have a white piece of paper? It'd probably be easier to see this on white.
Do it on the back of this.
On the back of what? No.
Okay.
No. No, Sean.
All right.
Okay, Sean, you want to hold the paper right there in the camera? Okay, look at this. This is super. Look at that lace. Look at how well that Cricut Maker cut. I was shocked. Look. Oh. So this is lace. Then this, what did I do with the other stuff? It's so light that oh, here it is. This is like, it's almost like a scrubby pad. Very fine, very, not dainty, but look at it. It cut that. No issues.
No issues, no fraying, nothing.
No fraying, nothing.
Yes.
That is with the fabric mat and the rotary blade.
Almost like fishnet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not tulle. We did cut tulle. Let me see if I have the material.
We did tulle. Some kind of a mesh, some kind of, they just called it, I forget what they called it. And of course we just cut simple stuff, simple shapes, just to give the idea of being able to cut it.
It's this stuff.
So yeah.
Look at that. And it cut it. Netting, yeah,
Netting.
It cut it. But this is the part too. You guys all know that the Cricut Maker can do print and cut on white paper, right? But now it can cut on pattern paper. Look at that. So there's the pattern paper. And I didn't think it was going to cut this because of all the lines. But look, it's like perfect. Perfect. Look at that. But here's the one that blew our minds.
Probably blew a lot of people's minds.
Uh-oh, I'm missing one of them.
Did he fall off?
I don't know. Maybe he's still on the table.
That's all right.
Black paper. It print and cut on black paper. Isn't that crazy? Where's my little penguin? I lost my penguin.
I don't know.
Here he is. Look. Look at that.
Yes way, Renee. It cut black paper.
Black paper.
We were not expecting this at all.
Look. So it has the lines on black paper, and they told me it's not gonna, it wouldn't cut.
They said, yeah, it should not cut. They said it shouldn't be cutting on black at all.
Well, they didn't say that.
Well, they said dark
paper. But yeah. Look, this is amazing. So I've been shocked by the Cricut Maker. I cannot wait to share all the results with you. We just have to edit a few. So yeah, the black dark paper. So they said that you would have to try it on each and one of your things, but it did it. And I'm shocked because, you know, when Print and Cut first came out, they were like, make sure you're only using white paper, make sure it's in a very well-lit room. If not, it won't grab it. And by doing, I don't know if it's because they do sensor marks all the way around now or what. I don't know. I do see a question. I don't want this to come over on the Cricut Maker. However, if you're having issues with it connecting to your Bluetooth, I had issues with it, and it was my computer. I had to go into my computer settings and tell it basically to forget all of the other previous settings. Then it went in and paired to I have a Mac, and you just, I didn't have to put in 4 zeros or anything. It paired right up. But I did have to go in and tell it, hey, I turned off my Bluetooth and turned it back on. So ours paired right away. It was no issue. So be looking for that. We should post that, like I said, on either tomorrow night or Saturday morning. We're excited. It'll just be the results as you guys say. And unless there's any questions, we are going to call it a night. Any questions, Sean?
I don't
we
have
answer
any
most of everything?
I think so.
Awesome. All right, guys. The tool. Did we cut tool?
Yes, we did. It's the red. It's the reddish color.
The tool.
I tried toner paper.
Oh yeah, tool. Is this tool?
It should be that.
Tool.
Yep, that's tool.
You guys, I should probably do it on a white piece of paper. I don't know where the little tiny square is, but.
Yep, good tool.
Ta-da! It's amazing. I'm impressed. So, all right, guys, have an amazing night. And we will see you on Monday for another live and this weekend for a review.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.